Hello everyone. Welcome to the session on data science using Python. So data science is something which is very popular nowadays and everywhere we are finding this term data science. We have to learn a lot about data science. Okay, but before that it is important that we should have a very clear picture of what is data science, what is being covered inside data science, and what should we know to be expert in data science. Okay, so that is very important to have some good introduction to data science. If we just start with it, we have to be very clear that it is not a certain area. We cannot say that okay, this particular work is data science or this particular technology is data science. It's not like that. It is a combination of various disciplines. So there are many disciplines, many areas which combine together to get some effective output of these data science projects. Okay, so it is like we have to analyze some data. So whenever it is data science, then the first term is data. So here in this, whatever you can say, this discipline or this subject or this area, we are dealing with data. There are different types of data may be available to us. It can be structured data, it can be unstructured data, it can be semi-structured data, and of course big data, because nowadays everywhere there is data and data is being generated from numerous number of sources, different types of data. And what we are doing that we are analyzing the data and we are finding some conclusion, or we are predicting something from the data. So data is something which is our weapon for going to the next level, or maybe to predict the future, or to help us in doing different kinds of job. So everything we are going to do with data, and for that we need to analyze the data. We have to do some work on the data, and then we have to come up with some outcome from the data, some expected outcome from the data. So the entire thing is data science, and for that there is mathematics, there is statistics. Okay, those are required, but those are not the only thing for data science. We need machine learning, we need artificial intelligence. Okay, earlier days this data analysis and this drawing some conclusion from the data was being handled by mainly mathematicians or statisticians, but nowadays this computer science people have also entered in this data area, and they are mainly using different areas of artificial intelligence. They are using machine learning, they are using neural network, deep learning. All these technologies are being used apart from mathematics and statistics, and then this data is getting analyzed. A lot of outcomes are being generated from the data, and it is being found that when computer science has also come to work on the data, then the entire process has become faster, and that's why it has become so much effective, and it has become popular everywhere. That's why you will find people from across disciplines. Okay, it's not only mathematics people or statistics or computer science. It's like people from different areas of from technology and from any business knowledge. With business knowledge also people are moving to data science. So it's like you can say it's a kind of area which is open. Okay, open ended. There are many different background of people may help to get expertise in data science. So we can just draw some diagram like that which may help us. So if we have heard about artificial intelligence and machine learning and deep learning, so data science is something which is touching all of them. Okay, and not only all of them, it is like some other parts also that we know that it needs mathematics, it needs statistics, it needs some visualization, data visualization. So different visualization tools. So everything together they help in this data science concept generation. Okay. So now, what are the disciplines that we told that the main disciplines which are related to data science. They are artificial intelligence. So if we start with artificial intelligence, it is not a new thing. Artificial intelligence is there for many years now. People are working on artificial intelligence. The purpose is that there should be some machine created which should have the intelligence which is equivalent to human. Okay, it's like the machine should work like a human. So far we have created many machines, but most of the time we are feeding the logic to the machines, and based on the logic the machines are working, right? But humans don't work in that way. When we take some steps, then it is not only whatever we have learned, but we use our experience, right? So as and when you are experienced in any field, then you have not only the theoretical knowledge, but this practical knowledge also you implement. So this type of intelligence, the human intelligence, when it is being fed to a machine so that the machine can work like a human. Like you can now know that there are many robots are being created all over the world, and some of them are really popular. So all these are, you can say, the part of artificial intelligence. Okay, and but we cannot say that artificial intelligence has reached its required level, because still there are a lot of areas where machines could not reach what human brains can do. So that lot of investigations and lot of research are being going on in this field. So data science is something which is taking help and taking the concept of artificial intelligence. Then comes machine learning. So machine learning is something where it's like something like the programmings that we do so far, but it is different also. In programming languages, when we write some algorithms, then what it is like, it we give some logic to the program, and then when some input is given, the same logic is being applied to the input and some output is generated. But machine learning is different from that. Instead of only relying on the logic, it is continuously learning. It is learning from the data. So here the machine is learning from the data, and every time it is working on some data, it tries to gain the experience. It just stores the experience, and then based on that it tries to generate the output. So that's why as much data is being fed to the machine, it learns more and more, and it continuously improves itself. So that is machine learning. We'll have a detailed discussion on machine learning in the coming lectures. Okay, but concept wise we should have some idea that what is machine learning. Then comes deep learning and neural network. So in our brain, how the neurons work. So there are different levels of neurons who pass information from one level to another, and that way lot of complex processing are being done by our brain. So similar way, some artificial neural networks are now being created by the scientists, which can solve some problems on the data which may not you know be done so effectively by the simple machine learning algorithms. So that's why this neural network has come into picture, and the deep learning. Deep learning is something where you have the input data which will give you the output, but before that it will pass through many layers. That's why it is deep learning. So there are some deep layers are present. When your input data is fed to the system or to the machine, then it is going through many layers. So you can see that deep learning is a very special area in the machine learning. Okay, when we cannot solve the specific problem through the generic machine learning algorithms, then we can move to deep learning, because nowadays the data is complicated and the requirements to get some outcome from the data is also very complex, which we may need deep learning for that. So deep learning is also one part of, you can say, it is being used in data science. And then comes big data. So big data is, from the name you can understand, it is data and it is big. So nowadays, there are social media, a lot of systems, log data from everywhere. Data is being generated, which is having some huge size, and most of the time they are unstructured and semi-structured. So this data is being handled in data science, because most of the time this data is being fed to the system, and there are some expected outcomes from the data. You know that nowadays if you write something in Facebook, or even if you make some like or comment anywhere, any of the social media, then your data can be analyzed to understand that what type of mind settings you have, what are your likings, what are your dislikings. A lot of analysis simply can be done when you give some response anywhere. So that way this data, everywhere this data is present, so this data is being handled in the data science. So we now understand that what are the technologies or what are the areas that data science work on, and it has actually many applications. You can say, from some very small industry to a very large industry, everywhere the use of data science is just growing day by day. Okay, it is very difficult to just continue without data science, but it has some major applications that we can have some, at least some idea that where data science is being used. So first of all is detection of anomalies. So whenever you have a stream of data or stream of input is coming, so when data is present or some information about some system, anything, so when there is something wrong or something which is not matching, those type of patterns can be detected through data science. So some anomalies can be detected. Okay, personalized marketing. So in retail or in any type of marketing place where we are buying something, you can just see any of the site where online shopping. So if you go there, you will always find that if you have bought something or if you have searched something, then the next day you are getting all similar type of products. So whatever you search or whatever you buy, those data is being collected and some analysis is being done on the data, so that your personalized choices are stored, so that when next time you are going for shopping, as if some person is there who knows your choices, your likes and dislikes, and based on that you are getting details about the product. So everywhere you will find these applications of data science. Okay, then some forecasting is important, that as I told you that we can predict many things from the data available to us. So it can forecast many of the metrics, it can forecast. Okay, then scoring. Okay, scoring system, suppose there are some scores needs to be given, so whatever data we have, whatever the past scores, anything past data, it is everything whatever mostly we are doing on data science, that we have some data, we do some analysis, we have some already available outcome, and based on that we come to some conclusion that if this type of input is there and if it can generate this type of output, so the pattern is like that, so that next time when some input is coming, so we are just seeing that what was the similar kind of outcome that was generated with this type of data, right? And based on that we can generate some outcome. So it's like predictions, many predictions is being done through the data science applications. And then interaction with customer, that nowadays there are everywhere is like some chatbots are present. So if you go to some internet banking or some some sim card for your network connection, everywhere if you try to get some solution for your problems, then there is some automatic voice or some automatic messages are being coming, right? So these things are also being generated based on the data available they have, right? So they just first they store all the questions that were being asked so far, and what were the problems, what were the answers, and that is being fed to the machine. And next time when I am coming with a new question, then it has some knowledge that okay, if this is the question that then that can be the issue and that can be the possible solution, and based on that, that machine is automatically giving us the outcome. So it's not required to have some call center person. In many places you will find that some automatic voice service or automatic message service are available. So those things are mainly being done by data science. So we could understand that data science involves many areas, okay, and it has many applications in our everyday life, from very small applications to very large businesses. Everywhere there is a presence of data science, kind of it's omnipresent, okay. But now we have to understand that what is the life cycle of data science. Okay, because we have to really, if we have to work on a data science project, then it is very important that we understand where from we should start and how we should proceed. So the first thing is, like any other project, is the first thing is that you have to define the problem statement. What is the problem? That is most important, right? So we have to first understand what is the problem and what we have to do. Very important step, like any other project. If we don't understand the problem statement clearly, and if we are not clear on the expectations from the project, then whatever work we do, it will have no use. Okay, so that's why it's very important that we should be very clear. We should ask lot of questions to the people who are looking for these projects. Okay, so we have to be very clear on what we have to do, what are the information available to us, and what are the possible and expected outcomes from that data. That is very important. And when we are clear on the problem statement, the next step is data collection. So we have to collect the data, and it can be of two types. It can be like some data which is already available, maybe through some systems, through internet, through some machine which is generating data, kind of automatically available. So that is one kind of data. Another kind of data can be some data which is really not available anywhere readily. This data is something we have to go to some systems and we have to collect it from many places. That is data collection. And once we have done the data collection, then we have to be familiar with the data, and that is being done by exploratory data analysis. Okay, because when the data is available, it can be a huge set of data. It may have come from different sources. It can have different types. Okay, different types of data can be there. So this exploratory data analysis will help us to understand the data. So we can use some different visualization techniques. We can generate some graphs from the data. Okay, we can just list down the data. We can try to understand the different relationships existing among the data. All these things we'll do through exploratory data analysis. Then comes the data pre-processing. So we have to predict some outcome from the data, right? So it is very important that data should be ready, because what data you got from the systems, they are kind of rough data. So that data may not be ready to to be processed. For that, we have to do some pre-processing. So it's just the step just before processing. So there are many ways through which we'll do the pre-processing of data. That means we'll just make the data ready for action. So whenever you are going to go for some event or some action, then it's very important that you should be ready. So these pre-processing steps actually helps the data to be ready. Then comes the data modeling step. So data modeling is something where actually you just try to generate the required outcome from the data. So here you are processing the data. Whatever processing are required on the data, that is being done mainly through the machine learning algorithms and the deep learning algorithms. So we just have the input data ready, we process it through some modeling, some algorithms available, and then some outcomes are generated. That is being done by the data modeling step. And the last one is the communication. So when you have some outcomes, you have some conclusions, you have the understanding, but you have to share that outcome, right? And maybe it's not only the technical people. There will be a lot of people from different backgrounds. Okay, and that outcome, whatever is coming, that should be in the attractive way. It is not always that you can just send them one text file or some Excel document. That may not be, useful, much useful for understanding. So for that you have to create some graphs, some reports, some visualizations. So that is being done in this data validation. Okay, so now we understood the steps that we have to follow, and if we have to start working on the projects of data science, then we should be familiar with the skills and technologies, because we need some prerequisites. If we just want to start the project, we have to be acquainted with some technologies. So first one is mathematics and statistics. You know that the basis of data science is started with mathematics and statistics. So we should have the basic knowledge of mathematics and the basic methods of statistics, linear algebra, those things are required. We should be familiar with statistics. And then comes the programming, because at every step, whether it's a exploratory data analysis or pre-processing or data modeling or communication, we have to write some code, because we are thinking it in the way of computer science people. So we have to write some code, and for that we need programming language. There are many programming languages which are, being used in data science. Among them, Python is one of the most important programming language is being used in data science, because first of all, it's a very high level language. You have to write least amount of code, and it is very simple to learn, and then it has many libraries. That is the most you know helpful point about data science, that in Python there are so many libraries which are already present. They help us writing the code. Then comes machine learning. So deep learning will also be required, but we have to start at least with machine learning, so that we can use these machine learning algorithms for data modeling step. Then comes data mining and data visualization. So visualization is something that for this communication purpose and for your exploratory analysis, your pre-processing steps, everywhere this visualization will help you. And data mining is something that analyzing the data, because you know you have to be familiar with the data. So it's very important that we analyze the data, and that is being done with the data mining. So these are some of the, you can say, these are the main technologies, main skills that we have to be we have to be good with that, because if we are not good in these things, then it is very difficult to write in a data science project. Okay, so that's why we now have to clear some way out, that now we have the fair idea about data science, and now we'll move on the path. Okay, so as a next part, we'll learn statistics, then we learn the programming language Python and its main libraries that will be helpful for data science projects, and then we'll move on to machine learning. Okay, so here I'll stop, and in the next session we'll continue on the discussion on the technologies that we require for data science. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the session and you understood the things, so that we can continue in the next one. So then, thank you for now.